Tupac's oldest friend, Jada Pinkett Smith, has finally broken her silence after an arrest was made in the unsolved case of Tupac's murder, and it looks like there are still a lot of arrests yet to be made. So just to give you a bit of a refresher, Tupac was in Las Vegas on September 7th, 1996 for the Mike Tyson and Bruce Seldon boxing match, and after the match, he and his entourage were recorded engaging in an altercation with a man named Orlando Anderson. And after the fight ended, Tupac and his crew left the arena and went somewhere else. Tupac was riding as a passenger in a BMW alongside Suge Knight when he was targeted in a drive-by. The shooters, who were in a white Cadillac, opened fire at a stoplight, hitting Tupac at least 4 times. Now, not many people came forward to help the police with the investigation, and that's probably why the investigation was as good as closed. One of the very few people who has actively talked about this incident is Keefe D. You see, at the time of the incident, Keefe was a gang member who lived in Compton, and he rose through the ranks to become a shot caller. He was also running a side business for himself with his multi-million-dollar drug empire in Nevada and neighboring states. After his business fell, Keefe built a name for himself by appearing in interviews and podcasts saying he was one of the few people alive who witnessed the passing of Tupac. In one of his numerous interviews about Tupac, Keefe talked about the night Tupac was taken and explained the incident in a lot of details, saying that Tupac and his crew beat up his cousin at the MGM Arena. He reached out to an associate later that night, got a gun, and tossed it to the guy in the back seat. He went on to reveal that the gun was used. Keefe also revealed that he gathered 3 vehicles full of men to confront Suge because Suge and Tupac disrespected him. He also said that he and his men waited at Club 662, but when Suge Knight and Tupac didn't show up, they set off looking for him. He claimed Tupac was in the front seat of the BMW with his head out, talking to some girls.
We came up Harlem, and shit, here he coming at BMW. All the chicks was like, Tupac, Tupac, and he was like a celebrity, like he was in the parade. If he wouldn't even been out the window, we would have never seen him.
Keefe then said that they moved closer to the BMW Tupac was in and shots were fired. Now, he didn't name the person who pulled the trigger, but he claimed that it was someone sitting in the back seat.
You said the shots came from the back. Big Dre, Orlando. Who shot Tupac?
They keep it for the code of the streets. It just came from the backseat, bro.
He then claimed that after the incident, he drove the Cadillac back to Compton, where it was cleaned and repainted. He has talked about the case so many times in his interviews, and it was a lot of he said, she said, and the police didn't even really consider him a person of interest in the case. But he went overboard with his recent revelations, and this just made it seem like he knew more than he was telling. The police had obviously been investigating this case for a while, and with all that Keefe had been spilling, it was only a matter of time before he was caught. Las Vegas Metro Police finally revealed that they now considered Keefe to be an accomplice in the murder of Tupac, saying that his own words reignited the investigation into Tupac Shakur's death, leading to the arrest. Now, this isn't the first time that the police looked into Keefe because he was a person of interest back in 2009, but he only decided to talk to the police because a proffer agreement was on the table, which meant that any of the statements he made could not be used against him. For clarity, a proffer is an agreement between a prosecutor and a suspect in which the individual agrees to provide the government with information regarding an investigation, but the statements generally cannot be used against the person. So the case was as good as dead to the public until a few months back when Las Vegas police raided an apartment in connection to the death of Tupac. Channel 8 News released a video that showed the police raiding the apartment, and this brought back the conversation surrounding the death of Tupac.
Several minutes after police arrived with lights and a bullhorn blaring, the garage door opens and a man and woman appear. Sources say the person on the right, is Davis.
Put your hands up. Sir, you need to put your phone down. Put your phone down. Put your hands on top of your head. Hands on top of your head right now. Hold on, my lord.
And on the 29th of September 2023, Las Vegas Metro Police announced that they had arrested Keefe and he would be charged.
For 27 years, the family of Tupac Shakur has been waiting for justice. We are here today to announce the arrest of 60-year-old Dwayne Keith Davis, aka Keefe D, for the murder of Tupac Shakur.
The arrest is the first major development in the case since the incident occurred 27 years ago. Keefe was charged with 1 count of with a gang enhancement. He was described as the on-ground, on-site commander who ordered the death of Shakur by the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police. While we are still in shock over this, Greg Kading, who initially worked on Tupac's case, said, "We knew about Davis all the way back from his initial confession to law enforcement. We sat him down back in 2009, and he confessed to his role in the murder along with other co-conspirators. But then he began to go out publicly boasting about his involvement in the murder, and that led to law enforcement in Las Vegas taking another look at his claims, and ultimately he's talked himself right into jail. And with this arrest, people are finally relieved that this case is moving forward after so many years, and Tupac will be able to get some peace." And one of the celebrities who openly reacted to this is Jada Pinkett Smith. Jada is known to have been one of Tupac's closest friends, and she has been hurting in the 27 years that have passed. She finally broke her silence and expressed relief that the culprit had been brought to book after 27 years of waiting. She said, "Now I hope we can get some answers and have some closure. R.I.P. Pac." And she is right. There are still so many questions left to be answered as to who pulled the trigger. Who else was involved? Did Bad Boy Records also have a part to play in it? Honestly, I feel like a lot of buried skeletons are going to be unearthed with this arrest. But with Jada publicly speaking on the recent development, people online had a lot to say. One user said, "Jada Pinkett leaving Will Smith's bed immediately for the police station and will release another 300 pictures of her time with Tupac before tomorrow morning." And I hate how the internet thinks Jada Pinkett is the worst woman because a girl couldn't be quiet about their relations and she's still grieving the loss of her friend. So sad. Honestly, like I said, there are going to be more developments, and as always, I'll keep you posted. In the meantime, check out this other video.